Okay, good morning. Welcome to our Premier Cooperatives virtual farm marketing meeting. This is something new, obviously, with the things going on with COVID-19 and whatnot. It's a little difficult to have an in-person meeting, so we thought we'd definitely get some information out there ahead of harvest here, and we have some exciting things to talk about today. My name is Doug Kropp. I am one of the merchandisers here in the campaign office. And looking at having this meeting today, we're going to start out by introducing our farm marketing team. And many of you have probably met them. If not, they'll be looking forward to meeting with you soon. This is a group of support people to help you with your marketing plans and get us, in the right direction on the pricing. We got Tanner Saltzgaber. He works in the Dewey area and that type of area. We got Lane Avenatti. He's based out of Ivesdale. We got Eddie Hannigan. He's over in Royal in that area. And then, of course, Darren Wax. He works out of the Sydney office. But they will also get out and about to the farms to make appointments to meet with you, as well as some of our other locations as well in their areas to help with questions and help with your marketing needs. With that, I just wanted to thank everybody for joining today. We are streaming this on YouTube, and we'll have it available to watch or to review again, later on our website or with a link. So, only thing to start out with today, markets are still kind of steady to a little bit higher on the beans, and corns basically has been unchanged to start out today. We had an export sales report out this morning, and pretty decent numbers on corn and beans, kind of what was expected, what we might see there. But overall, pretty good. And so hopefully that'll give us some support. And we'll see the markets maybe stabilize here as we go into getting ready for harvest. With that, I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting here and introduce Lane Avenatti. He's going to talk about a few things to start with, and we'll go through the program.
Hello, everyone. This is Lane Avenatti, and I'm just going to be kind of giving you guys an update on, some news that's in the marketplace, whether it's bullish or bearish. I'm going to start off with some of our more bearish news out there. First things first that kind of comes to mind is our large crop that we're facing this year. And that's mainly due to the favorable weather that we've seen kind of throughout the whole growing season. And, crops continue to improve. And that can be seen in the, condition ratings that we've been getting. Beans from last week jumped up 1% to 73%. Previously was 72. Corn moved or stayed the same at 72%. That's the same as last week. We saw a little bit of a decrease in Iowa, which was kind of leading the way early on in the growing season. They dropped 4%, and we saw a little bit of an increase in Illinois on the corn side. And they increased 2%. One thing that we've kind of started seeing released is private predictions for the August WASDE report that's about to come out. And they're pretty well, all of them are improving bushels per acre. Depending on the company, it depends on how much they're improving it. We could look at Informa. They're improving corn just slightly up, half a bushel an acre at 179 bushels an acre. And they're increasing beans a little bit more up to 52.5 bushels an acre. StoneX, which was previously known as INTL FC Stone, they have a little bit more of a dramatic increase on the corn side at 182.4 bushels an acre. That's up from the July report, which was 178.5, and they increased beans to 54.2, which is an increase of nearly 4.5, which is another pretty large increase. And StoneX, they also kind of have Illinois leading the way on projected bushel an acre at 212 and 68 bushels an acre on the bean side. I'd say that's showing kind of how good our crop is. Now, we do got to keep in mind there is some ponding, and who knows how much they're taking that into consideration when they're doing this. But I would say overall, that's relatively bearish news because that's going to, increase our total production, which can have an adverse effect on the market. And who knows how much of this is already in the marketplace. That'll kind of be seen as that report is released later next week. Another thing that could have a little bit of a negative effect on the market is the talk of the resurgence of COVID-19 or the coronavirus, whichever way you want to call it. There's been increases in ethanol and feed use over the last couple of weeks. But if COVID decides to spike up, with the lockdowns, if government starts shutting things down, we could see ethanol and feed use decrease again, which, as we all know, that had a really dramatic effect on the marketplace. We kind of got to hope that doesn't happen, but it's in the reality that we're in right now. So overall, with both of these factors, if they both come to fruition, that will increase the carryout for the new crop, and that's not going to be necessarily good for the marketplace. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now change over to a little bit of a more positive side of the news is that we've seen a little bit of an increase in demand for our crops for China. And one reason for this is that there's a little bit of questions of quality of their stockpiles over there in China. There was a picture or a video released of a single grain facility that showed some moldy and high FM corn. And shortly after that was released, they banned mobile devices from their facilities. So whether it's just a localized issue or if it's widespread, we'll never know, because that's one thing we can be certain of. China's not going to be 100% upfront about that. And also, China's corn growing area has been seeing a decent amount of flooding over the last couple of weeks. I think that's overall going to decrease their domestic supply, and they're going to have to make that up on the export one way or another, whether it's through us or Brazil or maybe a third country. But they're going to have to think about increasing a little bit of exports on that. And we can kind of see the supply-demand gap over in China because they actually have increased their futures price by 30% from January. So that just shows that there is more demand than there is supply. And another thing that kind of shows that is they've been selling out of their government reserves, and they've been selling everything that they've been putting up has been selling for good prices and, all in full. So that kind of shows they have domestically over there, they have the demand. Like I said, they're having a little bit of a flooding issue over there. So that's going to decrease their, total grain production by 4.6%, which, like I said, they're going to have to make that up one way or another. And one thing that kind of makes U.S. commodities look good, or U.S. grain look good for exports, is that the U.S. dollar is, relatively cheap. Usually that gives us a little bit more support in the market, but give us a little bit of support in the market, but it just hasn't seemed like that's been the case necessarily, just because we do have the negative news that we're facing right now. But we could see that, that overall increase in demand for the month of July. We had, our 3 record-breaking purchases, of corn from China. July 10th, we were at 1.3 million metric tons. July 14th, we topped that to hit our new single-day high at 1.7 million metric tons. And July 30th, hit our, our new high at 1.9 million metric tons. And that actually was our 3rd largest single day purchase to any country. So it's big news, but in all reality, it didn't really affect the market at all. July 10th and July 14th, those 2 sales, the market still went red those days. And July 30th, it barely went positive. So that just shows how much, negative force we have on this market. And so if sales like that don't continue, or if they didn't happen at all, imagine where we would currently be. We'd be even worse shape than what we currently are. And then, like I said, look for China's demand to continue. But the more influential news is the crop size and the possibility of resurgence of COVID-19. Now, that might be speculation whether that happens or not, but it's something to keep an eye out on. And also, the trade war between U.S. and China, tensions are still high between us. So if something falls out, that could have a really negative adverse effect, because the increase of demand from China is kind of the only thing that is supporting the market currently. So if that drops off, we could see even lower numbers. So that kind of leads me to my next point is don't let these low prices stop your grain marketing. You still got to be, thinking about it all the time and be proactive about it. Here's a few tips for you: is just kind of sell grain to meet your cash flow needs, because we all understand that you need to continue to keep cash flow fresh and moving. Look to lock in contracts with floors. I know this isn't a good pricing level to set some floors, but if we do have issues with China on the trade war, prices could go lower, so it gives you a little bit of protection on that. Also, be aware of some re-ownership contracts that we offer. That way you could sell your grain and then you just buy it back through our minimum price contracts. That allow you to kind of keep your upside open, but it does also set that floor that I talked about earlier. And then we need you guys, and we'll help you with this, set realistic goals and timely goals, because we got to be realistic about the marketplace that we're in right now. And 450 corn as of right now doesn't look too realistic. Could happen, but we need a miracle for it. And then also utilize some enhanced pricing tools like our premium offer that we offer. It gives you a little bit of premium on a set amount of your bushels. So if you want to increase price a little bit, that's something to look at. You can reach out to any of us farm marketing specialists. We'd be eager to help you with that. And then look forward to selling, some of the summer months, especially if you have on-farm storage. It'll allow you to capture the carry in the market, which will, just help with your overall price that you're receiving. And then now's not a bad time to be looking at new crop 2021. I know a lot of you guys are still worried about this crop, but some of your best sales are when they're further out. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. But long story short, just continue with your marketing plans. I'm going to kind of turn things over to Tanner, and he'll kind of lead you through what he has.